Essential needs. We're here from 8 till the last car is taken at 4. Make an appointment or just walk in.
When you need to know.
Ben, just look at this unbelievable amount of rainfall.
Yuki Creek is over its banks.
As storms move through our area, these neighbors say at this point it's just a waiting game.
On air, online, on your phone. News 1226 is on your side. Watch 1226 on your side, wherever you go.
News 12 on your side. Breaking news.
And we do begin with breaking news this evening. A live look there as a crowd gathers and law enforcement is out in force in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, the grand jury releasing a decision in that fatal police shooting of Breonna Taylor. The Kentucky Attorney General announcing no murder charges in the case.
However, one officer does face charges in endangerment in the police raid that took place at Taylor's apartment. Elise Preston has more on the announcement from the Kentucky grand jury.
A grand jury indicted former officer Brett Hankerson with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the police raid that led to Breonna Taylor's death. They announced no charges against the other 2 officers in the case.
The above-named defendant, Brett Hankerson, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree.
The charges against Hankerson were for shooting into neighboring apartments not directly related to Taylor's death. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron said the challenge was to put emotions aside and investigate the facts.
The decision before my office as the special prosecutor in this case was not to decide if the loss of Miss Taylor's life was a tragedy. The answer to that question is unequivocally yes.
Louisville police shot the 26-year-old EMT in March while executing a no-knock warrant at her apartment during a narcotics investigation. Taylor's boyfriend fired 1 shot at police, saying he believed they were intruders. 3 officers returned fire, killing Taylor. No drugs were ever found in her home.
I'm deeply, deeply sorry for Breonna's death.
Last week, the city of Louisville agreed to pay Taylor's family $12 million to settle a civil lawsuit. It's the most the city has ever paid in a police misconduct case. The mayor also pledged police reforms, including an overhaul of search warrant procedures. As a crowd grew at a memorial site in Louisville, the family's attorney called it outrageous and offensive that there were no charges related to Taylor's death. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And Louisville's mayor has announced a curfew for 9 o'clock tonight, hoping to keep the city calm. Much more news after a check of the weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale as we look live there at Grovetown. I-20 flowing down below, but on a cloudy day, Riley.
Yeah, a good bit of clouds out there, Richard, and it's thanks to that tropical system, now post-tropical in nature, but bringing us the risk for some rain heading late in the day Thursday and Friday as well. So the clouds are kind of a precursor to that weather heading our way. We're up to 77 this afternoon, not quite up to average just yet, but a little bit warmer than the past few days. Louisville was able to hit 80 this afternoon, but most of us staying in the mid-70s for the most part. Aiken at 73, 76 down there in Millen, and then up in Washington at 73 as well. Any plans this evening? We're just expecting the clouds to stick around for us. Winds are fairly calm, and temperature-wise, it's going to be very comfortable again for us. We're not expected to be quite as cool as what we've been by tomorrow morning. Most of us staying generally in the 60s overnight tonight. But this is what's left of Beta, bringing us the chance for rain later this week. We'll have that in the full forecast coming up.
Riley, thank you. We now know the name of that young man who died in a Lincoln County plane crash. The Sheriff's Department says he is 24-year-old Cole Madison. Deputies say he was flying above his father's property when he crashed around 5:15 last night. They say his father was outside at the time. Deputies tell us the plane crashed on the bank of a pond on the property, and Cole was the only person inside that Cessna. The FAA and the GVI are assisting, and the NTSB will determine the probable cause of the crash.
Taking a live look, 2 organizations are working to fight the opioid epidemic in our area. The Aiken Center worked with the Community Ministry of North Augusta to give out more than a dozen boxes of Narcan, and also doTERRA, which helps people throw away old drugs. Counselors help those facing addiction on site. And organizers say the pandemic is only making the drug problem worse. Tonight at 6 o'clock, you'll hear more on how they are helping fight that problem.
We now know what caused a huge cargo ship to overturn off the coast of Georgia last year. A U.S. Coast Guard naval architect testifying the Golden Ray flipped over because of unstable loading. Investigators found the ship's ballast tanks were not filled properly to offset the weight of more than 4,000 vehicles in the cargo decks above. The Golden Ray ended up there on its side at the St. Simon Sound after leaving the port at Colonel's Island September the 8th. It spilled more than 320,000 gallons of oil into the Sound. More fines going out to NFL teams and their coaches for not wearing a mask. Las Vegas Raiders coach John Gruden and New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton each fined $100,000 for not wearing a mask during Monday night's game. In addition, each team was fined $250,000 more. Gruden, who's already recovered from the virus, has apologized for not wearing a mask. This follows 3 other teams and coaches who were also fined earlier this week.
Updates in the shooting deaths of protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin earlier this year. A federal civil rights lawsuit has been filed against Kyle Rittenhouse, Facebook, and 2 militia groups. Rittenhouse is the 17-year-old accused of shooting and killing 2 protesters and injuring another during protests demanding justice for Jacob Blake. The lawsuit filed Tuesday alleges Facebook failed to delete 2 militia group pages. The lawsuit seeks damages for all 4 plaintiffs, as well as injunctions preventing Facebook from violating its own policies regarding hate speech and violence. Taking a look now at COVID cases across the 2 states. In Georgia, more than 1,500 new cases and nearly 100 more deaths. The state's total nearing 310,000 confirmed cases. In South Carolina, more than 600 new cases and 25 more deaths. The state's total sitting over 138,000 confirmed cases.
And another company is announcing phase 3 trials for a vaccine. It only requires 1 dose and does not need to be stored in sub-zero temperatures. Johnson & Johnson aiming to enroll up to 60,000 people in their trial. If the vaccine is safe and effective, they expect the first batches to be ready early next year. It's the 4th vaccine in the U.S. to enter these late-stage trials. Dr. Anthony Fauci expressing some cautious optimism.
We feel strongly that if we have a combination of adherence to the public health measures together with a vaccine that will be distributed to people in this country and worldwide, we may be able to turn around this terrible pandemic.
Millions of doses of the vaccine are already being produced so they can be distributed as soon as possible after a vaccine is approved.
A new report shows calls to poison help hotlines have skyrocketed during the pandemic. According to Safe Kids worldwide, there's been a 70% increase in hand sanitizer exposures alone. And among all cleaners, bleaches accounted for the largest rise in calls. Experts say all household cleaning products should be stored out of children's reach and sight and to keep everything in their original containers.
Scammers have been using the pandemic to target college students. The Better Business Bureau says it's getting reports about employment scams going after students. The scams begin with an email sent to a student's official school email address. The scammer impersonates a professor or a university department with a job offer. If accepted, the student gets a check and is told to send out money orders or prepaid cards. The BBB advises students to research any company offering them work before applying.
Walmart is getting ready for its Black Friday. The retailer says it is hiring more than 20,000 seasonal workers, but they will not have positions in their stores. They'll be a part of their e-commerce fulfillment centers across the country. Walmart is promising an all-new Black Friday experience because they expect to see a spike in online shopping this year. They'll spread traditional Black Friday deals throughout the season. This year, however, the retailer says all of its locations will be closed on Thanksgiving. Granny's got a gun. Up next, see how this woman, her little dog, and her shotgun gave an intruder more than he bargained for.
And rain chances are going to be going up over the next few days. We'll have a look at how much rain we're expecting coming up.
What else are they lying about?
A grandmother in Washington State pulls out the shotgun when an intruder comes around. Maybe the guy thought the 78-year-old would be an easy target.
But this grandma was not having it. Jessica O walks us through exactly what happened.
At the moment, I was scared to death. You know, I really was.
Sandy from Spanaway knew something was wrong when Boo Boo started barking nonstop Sunday night. The next thing the grandma knew, she was face to face with someone breaking in.
I opened my door, and standing right 2 feet from me was a man, and we looked at each other for a few minutes, and he turned and started to leave. And I said, "Oh, no, you don't. You stay right there." And I reached over and got my shotgun, and I cocked it. And I told him to stay right there because he was going to turn and walk away. Told him to go out, sit on the steps. I followed him out. And when he got to the bottom step, I told him to sit down, and I just stood here with the shotgun waiting for the police to come.
The 78-year-old wasn't about to let him get away. Her neighborhood's been plagued by car prowls lately. Sandy says she's had enough.
I was totally calm, really and truly. I thought, this is amazing. I said, you know, I've got grandchildren your age.
Pierce County deputies came and arrested the suspect and say it's thanks to Sandy's quick thinking and bold actions. She's just grateful no one was hurt.
After he was so meek and mild and sat down like I told him to do, empowering. I felt like, you know, at least I was in charge. I wasn't afraid.
She had that shotgun and her secret weapon, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo was there to attack if he needed to.
Boo Boo
Don't
was
let
ready.
the looks fool you.
That's right.
Well, deputies say they released the suspect from jail because Sandy did not want to press charges.
Very
What a
sweet.
sweet Sandy.
But she knew how to make the cocking sound with that shotgun, and that'll get your attention right
You're
there.
right. You don't want to mess
No.
with Sandy if you see her around. That's for
Sit
sure.
you down on the porch.
Well, to weather now as we take a look over Aiken. Riley, it's a nice day to get out and enjoy what we have right now because rain is on the way.
Definitely so, Zayna. Another fantastic afternoon for us. And don't let the clouds fool you. We're not expecting rain for the rest of your Wednesday, but yes, those rain chances going to be going up by late in the day Thursday, and most likely Friday is our wettest day this week. But 77 this afternoon, still keeping it below average. Remember, this time of year we should be in the mid-80s, so continuing that cool streak for us. And it is thanks to this area of high pressure. This is locking in some dry air for us and keeping us quiet, and it's trying to eat away at this tropical moisture. What's left with beta, trying to make it our way. So heading late Thursday into Friday, that's when our rainiest pattern is expected to move across the CSRA. And this is the cloud cover that's just kind of the precursor to the rain event we're expecting. So the clouds are going to be with us tonight into early Thursday morning as well. And with the clouds tonight, notice that our low temperatures early Thursday morning not expect to be quite as cool. A few spots likely getting back into the upper 50s, but most of us staying close to 60 out there tomorrow morning. The clouds are going to be with us most of the day Thursday, and as we head late into Thursday evening, most likely even Thursday night, that's when our better chance for rain is going to head our way. Now, the heaviest rain is expected to hang around this 85 corridor, so just outside of the CSRA is where they're expecting the potential for maybe some flooding conditions out there as the system moves on through. You can see our highest rain chances, though, on Friday as this tropical moisture just kind of moves in. We're going to be a good bit warmer, seeing highs mid to upper 80s, and a better chance to see a scattered downpour or two during the day on Friday. And unfortunately, those could linger into Friday evening for those high school football games as well, so keep that on your radar. But as we head into the weekend, this is the improvement to the forecast. Saturday and Sunday, we're expecting most of that moisture to be moving away from us. So Saturday and Sunday trending in the drier direction for us for the weekend. Here's a look at how much rain we're expecting. We've been showing a few different models the past couple of days, and the European model past few days have been showing over an inch of rain in some locations. We're looking at the American model right here, and this is more on track with what most of us are thinking how much rain we're going to see. Most of us should stay below an inch, maybe isolated areas see a little bit more than that, but we're just not expecting the significant rainfall like we saw last week. So luckily beta going to bring much more minor impacts than what we saw last Thursday. But past next week, we're going to stay pretty warm Monday, Tuesday, but take a look at Wednesday, back in the 70s for high temperatures.
Riley, thanks a lot. Baby Yoda on the front lines, lifting spirits of firefighters battling those massive wildfires. Help you, I will. And it all starts with a 5-year-old.
I'm 90.
The fires on the West Coast have been devastating. Thousands of acres burning in California, Oregon, and Washington state.
An army of firefighters has been working nonstop to fight these fires. So a 5-year-old wanted to say thank you. Mike Benner shows us how he did that by using a character from his favorite TV show.
You must reunite it with its own kind.
Baby Yoda is famous for his role in the Star Wars Disney Plus TV series The Mandalorian. But now, Baby Yoda is famous for something entirely different.
We were very surprised and very pleased.
Last weekend, Sasha Tinning and her 5-year-old grandson Carver were shopping for supplies to donate to firefighters when they stumbled across a Baby Yoda.
He literally was staring right at us, like as if to say, "Take me with you. I'm ready to go."
Sasha and Carver brought the Baby Yoda to a supply drive in Scappoose. A letter, too, that read, "Thank you, firefighters. Here is a friend for you in case you get lonely. Love, Carver." Supply drive organizer Tyler Eubanks.
there wasn't a dry eye at the trailer when he dropped off the Baby Yoda with his note. And so then I knew I needed to get that to the firemen.
And Eubanks did just that. All week long, the Baby Yoda has been going from wildfire to wildfire, lifting the spirits of crews on the front lines. Eubanks even started a Facebook page to document Baby Yoda's travels and show him sharing a moment with firefighters.
They're keeping the note with him, so it really is an emotional thing, as well as like they know that somebody out there is really thinking about them.
And that was the goal of little Carver and his grandma from the very start.
What makes me the most happy is the fact that it's bringing some happiness to these people that are literally putting their lives on the line.
Isn't that the truth? Baby Yoda providing a moment of levity at an otherwise dark time in Oregon's history.
Pretty cute, right? Sasha says she can't help but think Baby Yoda has also been good luck with the rain Oregon's been getting recently.
I believe it. I believe it a lot. Baby Yoda traveling with all those firefighters, putting a smile on everyone's face. How sweet is that?
He spoke from the store shelf. Buy me. Buy me.
That is great stuff right there. And any weekend plans, not looking too bad. We're going to be a little bit warmer in the mid to upper 80s, but another cool down next week. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Nice message.
All right, take a look over the next 5 days. We are expecting high temperatures to be getting a little bit warmer, back closer to average for us. Normal high this time of year, 85. So we're going to be within a few degrees of that next few afternoons. But in the long-term outlook, so this is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook that is issued by this Climate Prediction Center. Looks like we're going to have a big pattern shift once again for the start of October. So this is for the dates of September 29th through October 3rd. And a fairly high chance that most of the eastern U.S. stays below average. So expect cooler than average temperatures again by later next week during this time frame. Looking more and more likely the more we look at it. So right now, 50-60% chance of that happening. So keep your fingers crossed if you've been enjoying the nice fall conditions we've had. Just getting a little bit warmer heading into the weekend. Remember, Friday is likely going to be our wettest day over the next 7.
Thanks, Riley. Still ahead, we'll hear from a friend of the young man who died in a plane crash in Lincoln County about the person he was. The news continues here on First at 5. We'll be back after a short break.